All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you, just like me. So, Foreigner and Kiss are out on tour, and they've issued very similar statements regarding the thing and how if somebody in the band gets the thing, even though everybody has been poked, jabbed, and it's, I thought that was your ticket back to sanity and life. We were told about July 4th, how we could enjoy July 4th again. If you would just go and do the thing, we might let you have a barbecue. We might allow you to do things. By the way, people who want to do these things kind of did them anyway. So it's kind of an idle or empty threat, like you're going to take away my ability to fire up the barbecue grill on July 4th with some friends. Not that I do that stuff anymore. I used to do that as a kid all the time. But in this new world, this new humanity where, your neighbor is somebody who's all fearful, paranoid, has no actual facts to present when you have a conversation, and then expects you to just go along with their worldview on so many topics, and you do like this much research and you find out that they're completely, the opposite of what's actually occurring. In this current world, I'm not all that thrilled with inviting somebody over for a barbecue. And I'm certainly not willing to go buy tickets to see Foreigner or Kiss. I wouldn't go see Kiss anyway. I might go see Foreigner, but these bands also are negotiating with everybody from a position of weakness. What I mean by that, these older bands are just like a shadow of their former selves for the most part. Now, I've tried to be a cheerleader. I've tried to say, okay, this isn't bad. This doesn't sound so bad. But, slap on some headphones and go listen to Foreigner 4. And that's Foreigner. Okay. That's them in their heyday. And that's Lou Gramm at full strength. That's Mick Jones. That's Junior Walker on the saxophone. All right. This isn't anywhere near that. This is a show, a presentation, a facsimile, but it's not the same thing. So not only do you have to pay a ton of money, but then you're going to have proof that you did something. And when you show people that proof, they have all of your information. They have all of your data. So they're data mining in addition to the fact that they're invading your privacy when it comes to medical issues. They're also going to be invading your privacy when it comes to just your own personal information that you have to put out there. And bands like Foreigner and Kiss, they say, well, it's for the greater good, and this is a small price to pay. And this is just ramped up, though. It just continues to ramp up. People said a few months ago, no way, they'll never do the passport thing. And here we are. Here, show us your It's not a passport, it's a QR code. Oh, okay. Well, I don't do QR codes. I seriously don't. A lot of people, like say age 50 and above, maybe even slightly younger than that, they're like, okay, you're starting to lose me with some of this wacky technology. All right. And I've heard through pretty smart people that not only are they going to harvest information from you, from your medical history and just you yourself, like who you are, that they're going to have the ability to geolocate you. All right. Now, if I sound like a conspiracy theorist, so be it. Wouldn't you want to err on the side of caution and say, I don't trust this? Do you really trust any of these people for 18 months, 15 days? Remember 15 days to flatten a curve? 15 days, 15 months, 18 months, and here we are. All right. I'm tired of it. And I'm getting a little bit annoyed with these bands that are saying, well, do all these things and you can have a really good time. And you're going to be doing these things thinking to yourself, just by doing them, I'm not having a good time here. Oh, I'll do anything. It was a D. Snyder's like, line me up, man, just put me in a line, get me hurry up so I can do the thing. I'll do the thing all day long, twice on Sunday, whatever crazy statements they were making. Is this good for you? Is this a good thing? Well, it's going to do. No, we don't know what it's going to do. There has been no long-term study to tell you what this will do. Zero. None. Refute that. Okay, you can't refute that. So don't come at me with, oh, because by the way, they're already talking about doing another thing for certain people who are compromised. Well, I thought that's why those people did the first two things. They're going to do a third thing. And are they going to do a fourth thing and a fifth thing? How is it that before all this happened, right, you'd go into the winter season, you'd get sick, all right, and you'd recover. And most people, that's what happens. Some people don't recover. There are a few that don't, but most people do. And there are ways that they would treat this. Your grandmother, I'm sure, had the best remedy under the sun. See, as we get removed, more and more removed from the past, everybody thinks that the medical technology is better now, or the industry is better. No, the industry is getting paid to do things that are unthinkable. All right. They're getting more and more funding to do things that they shouldn't be doing. And they're basing their medicine on profit motive rather than do no harm. Because do no harm used to be the thing, but it's not the thing anymore. And it's disturbing that so many people, lemmings, that are just going over the cliff. Yeah, July 4th. This is good. I can have my life back on July 4th. I'll have a barbecue. I'll invite my family over. Well, I would have done that anyway. Why wouldn't you invite your family? Well, it's too risky. Wow. It's too risky. Oh, okay. All right. And this is why I don't like people anymore. I'm just throwing, I like you guys out here. All right. If you're watching and you're friendly and you're nice and people on Patreon, I'm saying it in general. I don't like people anymore because they don't make sense to me. Most of them, they don't make sense. My neighbor isn't my friend anymore. My neighbor could be somebody who doesn't know how to do critical thinking. That somebody who can't look outside the news source that's in your backyard that's beaming out propaganda 24 hours a day. And then, you think you're going to get a break. Hey, I'll go see a Foreigner concert. Nope. Sorry. Show us your paperwork. Where is the paperwork? Yeah. The spirit of rock and roll. This one guy, Tom Woods, that I follow from time to time. I think he retweeted like somebody who is like a Sebastian Bach type character. And he's like, what happened to the spirit of rock and roll? The spirit of rock and roll is gone. There is no rebellious spirit in rock. It's pathetic that these guys don't see that. But see, this isn't about that anymore. They're catering to people with disposable income, older folks, these older rock bands. They can only make money through touring because the industry that is completely against them now, the music industry, which will never play new stuff that they put out, won't play deeper tracks from their albums anymore. Think of all the sort of, things that they've done against bands like Foreigner and Kiss. Do they play Kiss on the radio at all now? I know, rock and roll all night, party every day. Maybe that song, maybe one or two other songs, but that Kiss had this fairly large catalog of music. It's not suitable for corporate radio anymore, but yet they're going to serve their corporate masters, even though corporate radio has shut them down. Foreigner, a little less so because they have more accessible material for radio. But still, this is a band with a deep bench of songs, and you hear 5, at the most 3. I don't know. Cold as Ice again here, Hot Blooded one more time. Okay, great. Corporate, again, they'll serve the corporate masters. They'll jump through the hoops of these people who don't have anyone's best interest. And the corporation has gone to your hospital, and they're running off a similar model. They're running off of a profit model, not a do no harm model. So everybody has kind of lost the spirit of rebellion. So I sit here kind of alone. Now people say to me, they'll send me messages, well, you're not alone. But here's what happens. Even just walking around, you go to like an outside shopping mall, which I did, I don't know, last weekend or something. And there are all these signs all over the place telling me how to think, what to think, why I should do this, why I should do that, where you can go find the thing if you need it. Really? I mean, I'm just trying to like shop for some Reeboks or whatever, or I think it was New Balance. And I'm sitting there going, okay, the propaganda is just, it's overwhelming. And you sit there and you think to yourself, am I the only one that thinks this is madness? And what's weird, okay, for you fans of rock music, right, who grew up on this stuff, you didn't really think that anybody in this business would be against you. You know what I mean? Like would come out and say, if you don't walk in lockstep with us, then you're an idiot, because they're calling people names. They're just calling them out. So it's like 30, 40, 50% of their audience, they just continue to sort of, I don't know, disparage, make them feel like outcasts. Boy, I better get in line with what Kelly Hansen is talking about here. Boy, Gene Simmons, again, I'm getting my medical advice from Gene Simmons. I better do what he says. He's smart about medicine, and I can't believe I'm so naive. And thank goodness he's tweeting at people and telling them how bad they are. I mean, this is where you're at. I mean, again, when people get too political as rock people, I used to disparage it. And I think in a way I was right initially, because if their politics shift, and they could shift any which way, but if they shift and they become more authoritarian, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe you should just stick to music because you're alienating everybody, that's a much better tack. Now, if you speak out against something like a real injustice, and it's a universal concept, child trafficking, or something that people can say, yeah, that's a good cause, and 80, 90% of the people, unless they don't have a conscience, would agree with that. But now we're in this new territory where everybody's a medical expert. So the bottom line here is, to wrap this up, I know it's a bit long-winded, is that these bands really don't have a plan moving forward. Their plan is do everything everybody says. Hopefully we don't face liability from anybody. And if one of us gets sick, the thing is over. And we're not. And I told people we were in stage 1. We'll hit stage 2 probably September, October, because typically this thing gets a lot worse at that time of year. And I don't think people are prepared for what's going to happen in the months ahead. It could get real nasty around here. And I'm praying it doesn't. I'm praying that I'm wrong, because again, I'd rather be wrong and tell everybody, thank God I was wrong. And yes, blast me all you want after the fact. It's fine. I do want to be wrong. I want life to go back to the way it was. It doesn't appear it's going to do that, though. So we all have to get the best information and make our own decisions, and not worry about Kelly Hansen or Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley or Sebastian Bach or pretty much everybody who chimes in on this, who has name ID. Very few people take a stand on this. Ted Nugent does, but people just think he's such a wild man and crazy. And but if he's right, he's right. Even if he's kind of a moving target, which he kind of is, he's still, at least he's dissenting. You know what I mean? It's better than just the lockstep lemmings going over the cliff. All right, so that is my long-winded video. Thanks for watching and supporting Patreon and the channel, and the encouraging words from the patrons. I really appreciate that, and I will talk to you soon.